with a UW Marshmallow deck. Let's see what our opponent has to play here. Our tactics remain the same as ever. Early Sphinx means that we may be going for the win by mill. Okay, black and more black. Is this going to be similar to the last game? Okay, Sphinx is coming out because we're under no duress. He doesn't have any low value creatures. Okay, he's splashing the green, so we got some elves here, which is nice to see. Monastery Siege backing up the Sphinx. The mill is in motion. Another elf, so wow. Maybe it's an elf deck with a little splash of black, so we're going to feel some pressure here because elves will put creatures all over the board and go for a quick win and overwhelm you. So having the large numbers of creatures makes it very hard for me to defend because I'm usually picking on one or two targets, and we could get overwhelmed here pretty quick. And Nisa is out there now. We really want to take her out before she can convert herself or transform herself. Otherwise we're going to be in even more trouble. So luckily she didn't do anything there. I think we've got to get rid of her. Yeah, off she goes. So we've locked down all the creatures but one. It's just a bit of a race here. How quickly can my opponent churn out creatures versus how quickly can I hold them up? Well, this one, the Sylvan Messenger, has trample, and it's a 2/2, so it's going to be one of the favorites for me to get rid of. So Stasis Snare, and next turn we have the 5 enchantments in play, so we're going to go for Starfield of Nyx and put up a wall of defenders in the form of enchantments. More creatures coming in, my goodness. Next turn we're going to be in for some pain here, unless we can do something and get these enchantments into play quickly. So 13 to 20. Cards are milling though. 21 cards for my opponent versus 41 for me. Starfield of Nyx comes in. We put up a wall of defenders, 3 3s. So he's throwing in. He's throwing 4 attackers. I'm going to block them all. Let's see if he has a trick. He was bluffing. He did not have a way of throwing those guys out. And now we're dominating the board position as well on the creature basis. The mill is in full swing. 2 Sphinxes and the Monastery Siege. 12 cards in hand to my 39. Our clocks are running down. So we gotta get to work there and make sure we don't lose on time. So what can our opponent do now? He tries to kill an enchantment, because if he does that, he will release the creature being held by it. So he did that rather nicely, and he frees Nisa, much to my consternation. So the Starfield of Nyx is great because at the start of every turn I can bring an enchantment back from the graveyard, so I just pull it back in, and I believe I can take Nisa captive again. So once you get the Starfield deployed with a significant number of enchantments, your opponent is going to have a very hard time to defeat you. And now we're going for Lugan's Insight, basically for the milling impact. My opponent is out of cards, and he's going to die at the start of his draw phase. So we managed to turn the tide here. Our opponent had a dangerous position, but we just managed to hold on and stall him long enough before we could get our enchantments out in number. And the Starfield of Nyx was the MVP here, buffing up our defenders with a wall of 3/3s is just too much for the elves. Wrapping another one. Yeah, so hopeless position for the opponent. Good game.